Vivek Ramaswamy is back in Northwest Ohio again tonight, but not everyone's happy he's here. What protesters outside the facility have to say. Plus, the USDA is scaling back on funding for meals at food banks. Which ones in our area could be impacted? John?
And windy and unsettled weather impacting your weekend, tracking a couple rounds of rain and thunderstorms. I'll have the full hourly timeline coming up in just a few minutes. Kaylee?
Thanks for joining us on WTOL 11 News on Plus. I'm Kaylee Marantet. Let's take a look at your Friday night headlines. A homicide victim's remains were found 40 years ago and just were recently identified. Now his family is commenting on the discovery. We told you yesterday that human remains were found in Ida in October of 1986. The Monroe County Sheriff's Office says Sean Bronner of Detroit disappeared in June of that year. He was identified with DNA belonging to his sister. The Sheriff's Office says the case is now closed in Monroe County. Bronner's remains were returned to his family for a memorial service. Bronner's family released a statement. It reads in part, quote, Sean was 29 years old at the time of his death, a beloved son, brother, uncle, and fiance. After 38 years, the family is grateful to finally be able to bring Sean home, lay him to rest with dignity, and find the closure they have long sought. You can read the full statement and more about the case on our website. The race for Columbus is making another stop here in Northwest Ohio. Republican candidate for governor Vivek Ramaswamy is making another high-profile appearance in our area tonight for his quest to succeed Mike DeWine. In Maumee, around 200 protesters gathered ahead of the annual Lincoln Day dinner, arguing that billionaires shouldn't be politicians and be in charge of running the government.
We heard in the State of the State from Governor DeWine that he's very interested in the CHIPS Act, but we are hearing from the top levels, Trump's administration, that they are not interested in the CHIPS Act and bringing those jobs to Ohio. So we are very concerned about losing funding that has been promised to us and losing jobs that we've expected to have in the state.
WTOL sat down with Ramaswamy after he announced his campaign several weeks ago. You can find the one-on-one interview with our Jeff Smith about his campaign platform right here on WTOL 11+. A Toledo public school got a visit from an elected official today. Secretary of State Frank LaRose spoke with students at Waite High School about the importance of voting. The students got to participate in a mock election, so they're ready when they turn 18. LaRose says getting the younger population to vote is crucial, but getting them to work the polls is just as important.
Well, first of all, you get paid for it. Not a ton of money, but I think that here in Lucas County, it's over $200. And it's a long day. It's a great thing to put on a college application. That's what I said to some of these kids. If you're starting work or going to college, think about putting on a college application that you were an election official.
To become a poll worker, you need to be at least 18 years old, and to get involved, you can contact your local Board of Elections. Election Day is May 6th. They'll be here before you know it. You'll need to make sure you're registered to vote, though. You have until April 7th to register. The polls will be open from 6:30 in the morning until 7:30 at night for in-person voting on the 6th. To find your polling place, we have more information on our website. The USDA has made $1 billion in cuts, and more could be on the way. These cuts will trickle down to food banks and school lunch programs. Local organizations are preparing to feel the impacts, even those who don't receive funding from the USDA. Megan Hartnett has the details.
Serving kids hearty, healthy meals is the goal of connecting kids to meals. But federal cuts are making that mission a little harder.
I'm very worried about the kids who would ultimately be the ones to actually pay the ultimate price.
The organization serves close to 600,000 meals every year. These federal cuts come at a time when inflation is already creating strain.
At the end of the day, we lean heavily into our funding partners, whether that's our corporate partners, whether it's grant funders, whether it's individual donors. We're leaning heavier into them day by day.
Wendy Huntley, the organization's CEO and president, says they are looking at changes like having partners pick up meals or centralizing pickup locations to keep costs down. Organizations that rely on USDA funds aren't the only ones preparing.
Cherry Street is not funded by USDA, but we are in collaboration with literally dozens and dozens of other agencies that all serve the same client base. And when one agency is impacted, we are all impacted.
If other organizations are facing cuts, that might limit their ability to serve people, driving up the number of people coming to organizations like Cherry Street Mission Ministries. Ann Ebert, CEO of Cherry Street, says there has already been an increase in people seeking resources, and the organization is trying to manage a budget with inflation. A case of eggs cost roughly $30 last January, $87 this January, and more than $120 this month for Cherry Street Mission. Ebert says bird flu is a factor in these increases, but these increases are mirroring what people see at home.
That's when we see people start to use the services at Cherry Street. We try to be prepared just by being aware of what's going on.
Ebert says right now they are looking at what alternatives are out there to keep the mission running within budget. A representative from the Islamic Food Bank says the organization does not rely on USDA funds, but they are also preparing for more people to come to them for assistance. Now, you have the chance to potentially save a life. Registration is now open for our 11 Together blood drive. WTOL 11 is partnering with the American Red Cross for the blood drive coming up next Friday, a week from today. It's all day long at Mommy United Methodist Church. As an added bonus, anyone who donates blood will receive a $10 Amazon gift card by email. To register for an appointment, you can call 1-800-RED-CROSS or check out the link we have posted on WTOL.com. John?
Windy and unsettled weather is going to impact those weekend plans. For your Saturday, we're tracking both the wind and the storms. 2 rounds of storms, the first of which rolls through during the early morning, and the second of which comes in later in the day, and also some gusts of 40 to even 50 miles per hour. Dry weather expected for the remainder of your Friday, but if you look back towards Omaha and St. Louis, there is some thunderstorm activity that is brewing, and an area of low pressure is going to produce widespread severe weather for folks to the west of us. Looking at that severe weather outlook, a moderate risk of severe weather impacting St. Louis up towards Illinois, but as those storms cross over into Indiana, there is expected to be a weakening trend late tonight. And with those storms weakening, I'm not expecting widespread strong to severe weather with this line of storms, although a couple stronger storms may still pack a punch with 40+ mile-an-hour gusts. We officially tied a record high of 79 at Toledo Express Airport, and temps still largely in the 70s, although cooler near the lakeshore. What a difference a week makes. Just a week ago, last Friday, we saw 1.8 inches of March accumulation, and that made it the biggest single-day snowfall of the season. And this Friday, 79 degrees, tying the record high from 1990. We're going to be warm again tomorrow, but mild and breezy feeling. Winds are going to be sustained at 20 to 30 and gusting up to 50 miles an hour with rounds of thunderstorms possible into the weekend. So let's time out that first round. Dry weather for the rest of your Friday. We're going to be watching these storms. They are going to be on a decline overnight tonight as the instability from the atmosphere wanes and diminishes, although there still could be some downpours, booms of thunder, and some gusty winds through daybreak. As those storms advance off to the east, we may actually enjoy several hours of dry and very mild weather. There is going to be additional rain developing and some thunderstorms with that second round late afternoon into the early evening. So breaking down those 2 rounds of storms, the first one comes in late tonight. We'll call it about a 5 to 9 o'clock a.m. window. After a couple hours of dry weather, we could get a little more instability in the atmosphere, and there is a possible strong to severe risk with that second round with steadier rain after dark. Still a little more uncertainty regarding that second round, but we are confident there is going to be some more rain that rolls through late. Winds are going to be gusty, 40 to even 50 miles an hour throughout the day, with wind advisories in effect for the Toledo Metro. And over the next few days, showers diminish Sunday, turning sharply cooler. St. Patrick's Day is looking pretty pleasant with some sunshine, and then we jump back into the 60s heading into your Tuesday. Overall, there's going to be quite some ups and downs in the temperature department. 60s for your Tuesday and Wednesday, and spring officially begins Thursday, but there could even be a few snowflakes with a much cooler feel to usher in the spring season. Kaylee?
All right, thanks, John. The U.S. Postal Service is cracking down on mail theft, but its solution is causing some headaches for customers. The agency is rolling out new tamper-proof mailboxes to stop mail phishing. That's where thieves use sticky traps to steal checks and gift cards. Gone are the pull-down doors. Now it's just a small tamper-proof slot. But the new design is making it a lot harder to drop off mail, especially at drive-through spots.
That was a pain. It defeats the whole purpose of the mailbox being a drive-through.
Well, there was not the deposit box in order for me to drive through to deposit my mail because I walk with a walker, so I'm unable to get out of the car.
The Postal Service says these boxes are rolling out nationwide, including more spots here in Ohio. The Ohio Department of Commerce is warning homeowners about unsolicited offers to sell your house. Some buyers lowball the price and then flip your home for a profit, leaving you with less money than it's really worth. Others offer leaseback deals. That's where you sell your home but end up paying rent to stay in the place you already owned. If you get an offer that seems too good to be true, the Division of Real Estate and Professional Licensing can help you check if it's legit. If your drive takes you through downtown Sylvania, you might run into some new road closures next week. According to the City of Sylvania Department of Public Service, a portion of Erie Street between Main and Summit will be closed. We have a map here for you. This starts Wednesday, March 19th, and will last for 3 days. Crews will be testing and connecting a new water line at the intersection of Main and Erie Street. Then a detour will be posted. Sandusky County EMS has started the process of getting land ready for a new post in Gibsonburg. Ryan Lachine has more.
It is out with the old and in with the new here in Gibsonburg, as Sandusky County EMS will be laying the groundwork for a new EMS station. Standing since 1975, the Sandusky County EMS post in Gibsonburg has been there since the beginning. EMS Chief Jeff Jackson believes it's time for an upgrade.
We looked at the design, we wanted it to blend into the area and be more of a welcoming, purposely built for, looks like an EMS station.
So after help from EMS and Board of Commissioner funding, land work has started to add a new 4,500 square foot station from the current 1,000 square foot station. With more space and convenience promised for the location, the goal is to make EMS services more welcome to the people of Gibsonburg.
This station has very community supported, and that we have a lot of walk-in patients that come in seeking help and seeking questions. Being located next to the White Star, we wanted to be an opening style for the community.
And that support is what Village Administrator Mark Glotzbecker has seen from Sandusky County EMS.
The community knows that, in an emergency, Sandusky County EMS will be there and, as quick as they can. If they need something, they know they can come here to the station and get help. And the addition of the new facility is going to be huge for the community.
With EMS services ever growing, Chief Jackson believes Gibsonburg deserves the best station to help those in need.
Knowing that EMS is growing, so being put in so many situations of our job is always changing and we're always doing more for the community, and we want to make that heard with these new stations.
Chief Jackson says the new station will be expected to be finished and open by the end of the year. Reporting in Gibsonburg, Ryan Lachine, WTOL 11.
St. Patrick's Day is one of the biggest party days of the year, which means downtown Toledo will be flooded with green all weekend long. Toledo police will be keeping a close eye, though, on everyone, making sure that people stay safe. Police say their biggest concern is drunk driving, as well as disorderly conduct and any alcohol-related incidents. Police suggest planning a safe ride to and from your destination. They suggest staying with a group, keep an eye on your drink, and always be aware of your surroundings.
There are a lot more businesses, restaurants and stuff like that downtown. So we do see an influx of people, especially in the warmer weather. There are plenty of avenues to make sure that you are able to celebrate safely. We want you to take advantage of them.
TPD also urges you to use crosswalks and assume drivers may not see you before you cross the street. Speaking of St. Patrick's Day weekend, the Shamrock Shuffle is tomorrow night. That run is a unique nighttime glow run and party event. Runners are encouraged to dress up, enjoy a beer on the course, and take a shortcut. The Shamrock Shuffle starts at Hensville Park and will wind its way through the streets of downtown Toledo. It starts at 8 o'clock tomorrow night. It's blue on blue when friendly rivals hit the ice this weekend. The Detroit Police Hockey Club is taking on the